Luke, what would you say are the principles from martial arts that directly translate to business success?
Oh, there's a lot. There's quite a bit.
Mm,
To translate to business success, one of it is discipline,
mm,
uh, and having the patience. I know this sounds kind of might be very generic, but you need to have discipline in business. It's not easy, man. It's definitely not easy.
mm.
You'll see these people writing great ad copy showing that they made $5,000 in 2 hours.
Yeah,
Just, but not a lot of people realize that behind it took them 10 years to get to that point.
exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So the discipline to keep moving forward, the perseverance that you need, um, that is, I think, one of the most important things because you need to have the mental fortitude to be able to keep pushing. Because if you don't, then this journey could eat you up.
Hmm.
Um, so that's one thing that I would say. Sure.
How long have you been in business for, Luke?
Oh, I'd say including side businesses and all, it'd be 10 plus years.
10 plus years, right? So I'm right now, I'm wrapping my head around the fact that you need at least 10 years of honing your craft until you can actually get to that point of writing an email and making 5 grand just like that, right?
Mhm.
And not enough people talk about it, and maybe one of the reasons why people don't really talk about it is I don't know if this would actually sell if you would start like a business conference and say, look, you can be successful in business, but guess what? It's gonna take you 10 years starting from today. Do you think people will still want to take that course?
Only
What do
the
you,
real ones.
the real ones,
Only,
right?
only the real ones. That's it. The determined ones would. I'd buy it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Because you're more seasoned, right? You understand the process. But I don't know, maybe in my 20s, if somebody told me it's going to take 10 years, I'd probably be like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I don't have 10 years. I want it now.
Yeah, it's interesting though, right? When you say that, because the society, especially of course I think in all over the world, but the school system, right? You go to university for I don't know what 8 years to become a doctor. People can wait
Mhm.
for that, but they won't. They're not interested in waiting for something that's gonna maybe. Well, I mean, well, I should retract that because that's a um, different type of industry, right? I
Hmm.
mean,
I don't know. I feel it's a good example. It's more inside the norm of, look, you're going to spend 8 years to become a doctor, so that's natural. And in business, it's more like, oh my God, this startup just made $10 million in 1 year. Amazing, right? So everybody wants to read about that. Nobody cares about the guy who's been in business 20 years and he just broke, he broke through and he made the $1 million, or she made $1 million, of course, right? So I think like a better emphasis on that. I love the fact that Gary Vee is talking a lot about patience. I love the fact that we're talking about it. We kind of touched upon it with Marcus as well during uh, his interview. And let me ask you, like, what would you say to somebody who is just starting out, who's desperate, to make his business or her business work and just make a bit of money and survive?
it's a good question. Good question. What industry? There's a lot of
Yeah.
questions that I have to ask, right? I mean,
Let's say in the coaching, let's say for the coaching industry and for the martial arts industry.
well, okay. Let's say. So, coaching, like you're saying, business coaching and things like that is
Yeah, yeah, life coaching, business coaching.
that's a tough one for life coaching, business coaching to really get some success. It's going to be here. Well, okay, with that industry in particular, I would say you need to get out there, right? And start speaking. In my opinion, I think you should start speaking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to be able to speak. You should be able to speak anyways because you need
Hmm.
to know how to communicate. And if you get onto a platform where you can, instead of trying to sell one on one, you could do it
One
in a
to
way.
many.
I'm sorry. Yeah, e- exactly right. So you have 50 people there in one room. Now you can I wouldn't do the pitch. I'd do something more of an educational marketing type
Mm-hmm.
where you can, showcase your your knowledge
Yeah,
and subconsciously build your authority up right within that room. So that I think would be one thing. Get up the courage to speak, and as you see, like those that can speak, all the actors you see on TV and movies, they get paid crazy money. Athletes that playing it from the television, you know what I mean, like the
yeah,
sports, basketball, and things like that. But then
definitely.
you'll notice that people in the office were not getting paid as much, but it's because these guys have the ability to, communicate something to the masses.
And as a side note, just to reinforce what you're saying, don't just do it once, guys. Right? Your first attempt is gonna suck. Right?
Absolutely.
Just do it at least 20 times, and then evaluate your progress. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree.